Hi, Jerry here, and today I'm going to talk about what may be the best airline for you to fly to Papeete. And there's a lot of different variables here, and I'll try to go through as many as I can. I've flown on 5 different airlines between the West Coast to California and Papeete, Tahiti. So let's start out. If you're into the cultural thing, you want that Polynesian vibe as soon as you get on the airplane, then you want Air Tahiti Nui flying out of LAX or Seattle. And the reason being is the motif of the aircraft is Polynesian inside, and all the flight attendants, they're all Polynesians or French Polynesian, and they usually change into their local garb costume after you're up in the air. So now you are being taken care of by people in their native costume, which is very cool. So if you want that Polynesian experience as soon as you get on the airplane, then Air Tahiti Nui is a good choice. If you're flying United, which I do a lot, they'll fly out of San Francisco. I like SFO. I like the aircraft United flies. I'm also a United card holder. So again, I get a lot of goodies and some things tossed in and so forth, which is really helpful. I also like SFO for an international terminal. Easy to get around, easy to get to, and so forth. I live on the Central California coast, so it's easy for my regional airport, who has a lot of United flights into SFO, so I fly United a lot. They use the same aircraft as Air Tahiti Nui. I'll go through the aircraft here shortly, but bear with me right now. The next one would be French B. French B flies 350-900s. They fly out of San Francisco into Papeete. Nice aircraft again. A lot of good things, especially for the price and things like that on French B. But again, I'll talk about the aircraft here in a little bit. Air France flies a 350-900, just like French B. They'll fly out of LAX into Papeete. The nice thing about Air France, they're code shared with Delta, which is sort of nice. By the way, backtracking to Air Tahiti Nui, they code share up with American. Okay? So the next one would be on Hawaiian. And Hawaiian, of course, was just bought up, but they're still using the Hawaiian tags and everything else. And they will fly from LAX into Oahu and then down to Papeete. The bad thing about Hawaiian is they only fly once a week on Saturdays. So you get into Papeete about 10 o'clock at night, which is late. And again, when they take off, they leave in the morning, so it's an early flight and so forth. But the main thing to remember here, only once a week, only on Saturdays. So let's talk about the aircraft and things like that. Air Tahiti Nui and both United fly the Boeing 787-900s. Wonderful aircraft, super quiet, big windows, best ventilation system in the air. The downside, both with Air Tahiti Nui and United, they both in economy do 333 seating, which is really sort of strange because most people are couples going to French Polynesia, which is 2 people. So in the old days, they used to fly the 340 planes going into on Air Tahiti Nui from LAX to Papeete, and they were 242 in economy. No more. Both Air Tahiti Nui and United 333 in economy. In premium economy, they both do 242 seating, which is very nice. That's that midsection in there with about 25 to 30 seats, which is very nice. I really like those particular seats. Quiet aircraft. I like the time, the afternoon flights. Air Tahiti Nui flies in an afternoon flight out of LAX, and they'll leave at 4:30 in the afternoon, getting into Papeete around 10 o'clock at night, which isn't too bad. But remember, you're 3 hours ahead if you're on California time or the departure airport. With United, it takes off out of San Francisco about 1:30 in the afternoon, getting into Papeete about 6 o'clock at night. That is my preferred flight time right there. I like knowing I'm in there. I'm not completely red-eyed in my eyeballs because I'm sleepy again. So I like United on the timetable as far as when they fly over there in the afternoon. And again, you're not trying to get a big night of sleep and so forth. So those afternoon flights, you can get by with being in economy because you're not trying to sleep and things like that. So on Air France, they use a 350-900, as does French B. Quiet aircraft, big windows. The sad part about it again is on Air France, the economy seating is 333. In their premium economy, they're doing 242. So keep that in mind. The downside on Air France is the timetable a little bit. They take off and do a red eye on the way over, which means you get into Papeete in the wee hours of the morning. When they depart Papeete to go back, it's in the morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. So you're having to get up very early in your hotel or from your cruise ship to get to the airport on time. French B, again, same aircraft, 350-900, but they even stack you in more like sardines. In economy, it's 10 across. Did I say that right? Yes, 10 across. And so it is really tight in there. Great price again. Usually French B will have one of the lowest airfares. Their premium economy is much nicer and reasonably priced. So that's something to consider if you're wanting something out of San Francisco that's reasonably priced and you're not worrying about being in like a sardine. Their economy, their basic economy doesn't include a bag or it doesn't include a meal. So keep that in mind. The other airlines typically do. So keep that all in mind there. The other thing with Air France, I'm going to say this because I've flown them quite a bit. They also have usually the best price for premium economy and business class. So if you're going to fly business class or premium economy and you're looking for the best price, it typically will be on Air France. So keep that in mind. Let's talk about the returns here now because the timetable is a little bit different on each one of them. Air France and French B fly out of Papeete in the early morning, again, right around 8 o'clock in the morning. So you're getting up early out of your hotel or from your cruise ship to make sure you get to the airport in time. On United, they take off at about 9 p.m. in the evening, and which is a great time because a lot of the evening flights are later, like on Air Tahiti Nui. They're typically between 11 o'clock and midnight, and it is getting late, and you are getting red eye. So I really do like that one on United, where, again, it takes off at about 9 o'clock in the morning. On Hawaiian, it's, again, sort of an oddball time. So, and again, only once a week. So again, it is not my preference and so forth, though Hawaiian is a very good carrier. So hopefully that answers a few of your questions there on what may be the best airline for you to consider going to French Polynesia. Anyhow, hopefully that helps you make a decision here. As I say, any way you get over to Paradise is a good thing. Again, in my pecking order, I use United a lot, and then I would do Air Tahiti Nui. There may be some other players again someday. Air New Zealand used to fly in there, which I loved. I loved their flight attendants and so forth. Air New Zealand's a class act, but they no longer fly through Papeete. So remember, you can ask questions on my podcast here. And when you ask a question, then I look for those. And in a future episode, I will answer those questions. So I really encourage you to ask me questions, okay? Also, remember, my podcast comes out every Wednesday at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you're looking for something new every week about French Polynesia, make sure you check in and start following my podcast. Again, that's 5 a.m. every Wednesday. And it'll always be something about French Polynesia. It'll be something new and unique. And it'll also be, obviously, a little nugget, some valuable information for you to consider when you're planning your trip to Paradise. Remember, you can also go over to Cruise Critic. I am the Tahitian Big Kahuna over there. I'm answering questions every day over there, usually on the South Pacific Forum. Enough said. You all have a wonderful day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Iterangi e aro amai amata